Hey, I'm Dukes on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it.
Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with Abzan Mav, which is a deck that I haven't played in a little while, but was doing pretty well with when we first got into it post Ragavan, which is nice. So I haven't changed too much with the list. The only change I've made is going up to 4 Mother of Runes and taking out a Noble Hierarch. So going down on the Mana Dorks, but going up in protection. And I think Mum's really solid right now. I think there's a lot of 1-for-1 removal in the format. There's not too many sweepers, which is fantastic. So yeah, I think having the turn 1 Mum in most of my games is pretty nice. So that should be pretty cool. The only other difference is nothing. There's actually nothing. That's it. That's the deck. I still like black right now. I think there's a big push towards Naya, especially in green-white depths, moving to the red splash. And I think that guys like Mark Strassman are obviously having a lot of success with that deck as well, which is nice. So yeah, pretty happy to see how this turns out. I think just generally I've always been a big fan of Black Splash. The big card that I think is probably the talking point of Maverick right now is Sylvan Library, which has lost a lot of its power since the printing of Prismatic Ending. And also since an uptick in some of the Narset Hull Breacher decks. You just aren't going to be getting value out of it like you used to. So it's tough to try to find another route to card advantage in this deck. You could play Dark Confidant if you really wanted to. The issue with Bob is that it's also very open to removal. It can be protected by Mum, but you also have a pretty high sort of CMC count, especially around 3. So Bob can be a bit of an issue if you aren't winning the game fast. And Maverick is a deck that does grind quite well, but doesn't really have that that oof to get out under your own Bob and win a match. You don't have the reach of, say, Lightning Bolt in a deck like Jund, or the power of, early big creatures like Tarmogoyfs. You have to rely on Knights. So I'm not sure if I could fit Bobs in here over the libraries, but it would be pretty interesting. The nice thing about Library as well, which is pretty subtle, is that you can just play it off basics. Bob, you have to go for the Black Source, which does open you up to Wasteland, which is a consideration as well. But yeah, see how this goes. I still like Path to Exile. I think Path is a nice removal spell, especially against Delver. Although it does get them a basic, I find most Delver players in games 2 and 3 tend to go for basics early on. So by the time you have a Path, they probably don't have any basics left. And I would much rather them have a basic land, if they do have one, than a Murktide Regent, or a DRC, or even a Delver. So I think Path is okay there. But yeah, I think Abzan could do with a bit of an overhaul. I think this list is probably pretty dated, even just in the fact that I haven't really gone through every single card and evaluated like what's its position in the format, what could be there instead. And just, yeah, Outland Liberator is a great example of a card that I just couldn't fit in the deck. Because I want to play Knight of Autumn in the main deck because I like its flexibility. And even the gain 4 can be pretty relevant against Delver that usually deals in damage of 3. So, yeah, Liberator, a card that I think is legacy playable, 100%, but just hard to find a spot. Like in the sideboard, do I really want to go for another creature like Liberator, or do I want to have a more impactful card like Force of Vigor? Because I feel like Maverick's a deck that needs to have those silver bullet cards, a bit like Force, a bit like Plague, in the board to be able to keep up with the format. Which is kind of sad because I do think that, it's a little bit underpowered. And, I know Madavook does his monthly tiers of the format, and Maverick's around the D. So, yeah, it's a tough one, but I really enjoy the deck. And I think if you're going to enjoy the deck, that's pretty awesome. Alright. Let's get into it. Thanks, Coach. It is nice to be, nice to have a birthday on a Sunday. Legacy League, Abzan, 100 play points. Nice. Here we go. Alright, Legacy League. Gameplay. We got it. We got it, team. Nice. And coffee, so can't be unhappy. Yeah, put out a, I think last week I put out a new version of the Maverick monthly, which is cool, looking at some of the different archetypes that are doing well in Legacy. And although Maverick isn't taking down challenges or showcase events, it is still a great deck to take through leagues, and I think it's a great deck to really learn the format as well. Maverick is a deck where you have to be kind of one step ahead of your opponent, so, you know, going for Collector Oof before they can start going off with petals and LEDs, or getting Gaddock Teeg before they can natural order. Side note, RIP Gaddock Teeg, but yeah, I think it's a great deck that really punishes you for poor play, and I think you can learn a lot from that. Hey, Dark Poet Bill, welcome. It's a pretty strong hand. Like, it has the mana to cast everything. We have removal and a turn 1 play, and then Green Suns only gets better as the game goes on. So pretty happy to keep this. Opponent is also 0/0, which is nice. Once. Okay. Once these days could mean a ton of things. Even once into Verdant. Could still be lands, could still be Hogak. Could even be elves. Okay. Now this is a really interesting spot, because against elves, usually any elf is pretty much kill on sight. But I really want to make use of my mana in a meaningful way. And what I mean by that is, sorry, my removal in a meaningful way, which means that I really want to go after their enablers, not just their elves. Hey, thanks Northern Angel and Chris and Dark Poet Bill and Echo. Too kind, too kind. And hello, Matt. Welcome. So this is an interesting one. I think I will use a fetch land here to go and get a Savannah and play the Mum. There's no real need to Green Suns just yet. Like, there's not really a 3-drop that I'm really looking for. And unfortunately in this version, we aren't playing Gaddock Teeg, so we don't really have a great sort of hate bear to slow down elves. So that's always a tough one. What I don't want to see is a glimpse turn too early. How essential is the Cradle in Maverick? I wouldn't say it's essential. I know that Mark Strassman, who plays a lot of punishing Mav variants, doesn't play Cradle. It does lead to some pretty nice ways to be unfair in the format, which is sometimes what you need from Maverick, but I wouldn't say it's 100%. It's not like Tabernacle in lands, but it does give you like that extra level of power, which the deck without it doesn't really have. So it allows the fair version of Maverick to be pretty unfair at times, which is cool. So Query and Range is actually a fantastic target for Prismatic Ending here. Just hope they don't have a Wildwood Symbiote. But if they do, we can still target that as well, so it's not all doom and gloom, which is nice. They also didn't attack first, which is interesting, with the Nettle Sentinel. Because if you are going off, it's pretty much a free attack when I have a 1/1 in play. It would be really tough if they had a Heritage Druid, because the Nettle Sentinel's on tap as well, and then they can start producing 3 mana. So this is a matchup where I like the Thoughtseizers, the Plague Engineers, the parts. Okay. Library. So here it's pretty much just going to be take out the Korean Ranger and play the other Mum, which is pretty tough. I don't want to show the black either. I just want to play the plains and play the mum. Which I think if they attack with Nettle Sentinels here, I'm pretty happy to trade a mum for a Nettle Sentinel and then protect the other one. If they do, but... This version's definitely tougher for Maverick, because it can just combo off so much faster. I'd much rather see the slower versions without the Nettle Sentinels, the Elvish Reclaimers. I'm going to assume this is Heritage Druid. Why would? Okay. Going for the value plan with Visionary. Yeah, there's definitely another version of it that I believe Newton plays that I really enjoy playing against because it's more of a grindy matchup. No Cradle, which is a small win, but not really what I'm after. Okay. Knight's not the worst. Hey Clips, thank you very much. This is tough because, like, I think Knight is just the... There's not really a great play here. Library at least allows us to dig for removal, but 1/1 removal here is not great, especially after our opponent is going to be going off with the Wirewood and Visionary for so long. Then it might just be like Knight and then try to get Questing Beast online through Cradle. They're like, we can try to get some damage in there. Just gonna go for another Savannah. Still keep that black at bay. Yeah, playing against elves round 1 is definitely a challenge, which I'm not... I'm definitely open to challenges, but yeah, definitely a tough one. I think go-wide strategies are always going to be a tough archetype for Maverick to deal with. And that's why we do have some pretty heavy hitters like Plague Engineer in the sideboard, which is really nice. The Dryad Army here probably signals to me that they have either Cradle or Natural Order. Or to just get it out of the deck. This is probably a matchup where if I really expected elves, then maybe playing a Stoneforge Mystic package would be nice, but it's always tricky trying to get through Wirewood Symbiote and elves with Jide. Endurance is fine. They're really trying to draw into this Cradle. Did Birchall get a reprint? I don't believe so. Yeah, there's definitely been versions of Abzan that have run Leovold, even without a blue jewel, just because you can Green Suns for it and you can cast it off all your mana dorks, which is pretty nice. But sadly, it's also quite slow against a deck like Elves. But otherwise, it's a pretty nice card to have, and pretty nice against the Days Undoing decks as well. There's just like a nice Green Sun's target way to actually interact with them, because Teeg doesn't do anything, and Collect Oof does stop them from able to get like the mana off Hull Breacher, but otherwise it's pretty tough. And there is the Greater Hoof. Alright. Sideboarding. So cards we like, obviously the Plagues. I am a big fan of Path. I think that giving them a land is much less of a resource for them than allowing them to have a creature around, especially an elf. The libraries are usually too slow. The Oof does nothing. The Knight does nothing. I don't think I want to have the Endurances or the Ramanap either. Usually they tend to not be in a situation where I can just keep hitting them with Wasteland off that. I also don't mind taking them off, dropping down on a Thalia. Kai is also pretty interesting. It's just a mid-range threat. Also means you can like rename your Plague Engineers, which is kind of cool. Hey, thanks, Jib. Yeah, Deathrite was a pretty nice inclusion from Mav, because you could use it on all aspects. And just having that extra little bit of reach is nice. I could also see Caracas coming out. I think that's pretty fair. Thalia not the greatest, but a 2/1 first strike that also pressures them on the play is quite nice. This is an interesting hand because we have turn 1 Dryad Arbor, and then it's just do we draw a land off the top? Which is pretty high. Like turn 2 play is Scoos if not. But I'm not a big fan of keeping 1-landers, and I would hate to change that right now. I think if I was up a game, I'd be happy to keep this, but... the pressure's really on, because our opponent can go off as early as turn 2, which is pretty tough. So like having to draw that land is just not really somewhere I want to be. I'd rather have a hand that just like at least has a bit more of a game plan than just draw a land. Which is pretty high, but... it also has to be a black source, so it has to be pretty much a fetch land. Sadly, no. This has a Cradle as the mana. Otherwise, it's pretty nice with all the removal, but... this is actually a lot better, so we'll keep this. So let's just have a look. We want to keep Forest, Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, Scrubland. There's also a world where we go turn 1 Thoughtseize, in case they have Thoughtseize or removal spell off Scrubland, and then turn 2 we can go Mum, Forest, Dryad Arbor, and then turn 3 Plague, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could also play a slow game where we don't have the Green Suns. And we don't have the Mum. The only thing is that I'd probably rather have the Mum, because Prismatic Ending is most likely dealing with an elf, and Plague already does that. So I don't really want to hit them that way. We're definitely keeping these 3. And then I think we're keeping Thoughtseize as a turn 1 play. So that's 4. I'm pretty set on these 4. It's a case of Mum to protect Plague, potentially. I think that's going to be it. Because I think in the next 1, 2, 3 draws, surely we have a pretty high chance of hitting the third land that I don't need to keep the green suns here. I think that's it. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Opponent kept 7. Okay. Pretty happy just to take the glimpse here. The visionaries do replace themselves, but the glimpse is definitely a scary card. Verdant. Nice. I'm gonna keep the fetch land for now. And just hope that that turn 2 play is visionary, probably off the forest. Nice. Okay. I'm happy they used the fetch land there as well, because it means they don't have access to Dried Arbor in hand for a natural order. Plains. Okay. I'm going to keep this for Dried Arbor, just as a way to like increase the clock as well. And then it's pretty greedy to attack here, so it's going to take the time to slow this down a bit. That's a little scary, because it is like essentially showing Dried Arbor into natural order. Tough. Rough. Not too much we can do there. I kind of felt like I took through my line, and it was a pretty good line, but yeah. Natural order just pretty strong. Hey Mark, thanks for the follow. Hope you're well. Hey K-Sound, welcome. Hope you're having a nice weekend. Oh. But yeah, natural order beats are tough. It is really my birthday. It is. It is my day of birth. 18 years ago, obviously. Tough. All right, let's get on the board. Up against Jono. Very nice. So Jono, good friend of the channel. I'm pretty happy to keep this. I know what Jono's on, so it does make things a little bit easier, but like turn 1 Mum into Wasteland with also 2 like 4 removal spells is quite nice. It does look a bit like a D&T hand. I'm not sure you'd play Prismatic in a D&T deck, but otherwise very, very much the same. There you go. Green Suns. Alright. Bayou. I'm just going to go ahead with Mum here. I could go after their mana, but I'd rather use my removal spells on their creatures that are actually threats. Nice. So here I can try to take them off mana. Playing the Thalia doesn't do a whole lot. I'll do this all in upkeep as well. The question is, do I want to wasteland the Taiga first or swords first? I'd probably rather lose the wasteland than the swords. Like, at least if they have crop, they're using the mana in their turn. Yeah. Oof. Big yikes. Definitely the downside of keeping a one white land hand with Caracas as the white spell. Okay. I feel a Reclaimer coming. Okay. Not too bad. Ending here is nice because I can save the sword for a knight. Okay. Pass with Script Ranger up, which gives us access to 3 mana next turn. Hey, Jatash, too kind. Hope you're doing well. Stage. Scrib. Wasteland. Jenna just saying, Scrib, yes! The question here is... So we can play the Endurance. We can float white, green, return the forest, and then we have 2 blockers, but if they have crop into step, if they have double crop, it's pretty tough. But I think I'd rather try to get the Endurance into play here than play a little bit scared. Okay, this is nice. Okay.
I think you just allow the block and then prismatic ending it. Much rather that, because we have the beatdown strategy going, that I'd much rather that than give them the extra life. This is also potentially a free attack if I want to throw away, but I think I'd rather just swords. It's definitely interesting because this is a big resource. So if I really wanted to, I could attack with the endurance and then see if they block. I assume they wouldn't. And then I could endurance them. I'm happy to do that. Especially when I'm stuck on mana as well. Yeah, I think Jono takes the... yeah. Okay. Nice. Keep trying. A lot of removal so far, but I really want to find this third land to get this knight into play, because getting Wasteland online is what I really want to see. Feels like a Green Suns. Okay, potentially for Ramanap? Yeah. Now I need that land. Yes! Nice. There we go. They also have one card left. I could also Endurance, but I think Knight is better. Just having a quick think, because if we play Knight and they have swords, then I'm in a bit of strife. But if I just Endurance here, then they also have to find like a crop rotation. I'm actually gonna screenshot this. I think it's Knight. I think it's Knight. Unless if they have... Yeah, because even if they have to prismatic ending this, it's too much mana to be able to prismatic and also Dark Depths. Are they going for it now? Oh, Caracas is in the bin. Ooh, I should have thought about that. That's a yikes. What's a land I can sack? Oh, Endurance myself and use Knight? I love it. I love it. There we go. Yes. Yes! The question is, do I do it now to play around a crop rotation effect? I don't think so.
I will just get Canopy here so I can draw a card down the line. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't give him the extra draw. Yeah, tough. Could block once, but then the knight's going to take over, and they have the combo back the next turn, which is pretty tough. Thalia's out, Collect Oof out. I like the endurances. I like the paths. I don't mind Thoughtseize, but could see it. I do like the Kaya. Knights, birds, mums, ooze, Ramnap, knight. Could just be Beast in this matchup. Thoughtseize is always interesting as well, but I think like the deck's just pretty solid anyway. No, just a little bit too slow. Okay. Pretty happy to keep this. And probably just bottom one knight. This way I have like multiple ways to accelerate even if my Birds of Paradise gets taken care of. No swords is pretty nice. This is fine. Night of Autumn. And probably just hold up knight here. It means we can end step swords if needed. Still fine. Probably happy to get Scrubland here. Okay. I could attack with a Knight of Autumn here and make Jono make the decision that you know, do I have Bojuka Bog in the deck? I think this is a free attack. Oh, he called my bluff. Oh, no. Okay. Two mana. Yeah, so we can go for endurance, or we can try to. I don't mind just canoping here. Oh yes. That's how we drew it up. That is how we drew it up. Classic. Okay. This kind of sucks that they have crop rotation. I think I'm pretty happy just to allow this. Yeah, I think this is fine. Tough. Okay. Okay, Jono. Pretty happy just to run this back. Sadly not where I want to be. If this was a fetch land, there's a world, because we have multiple ways to get up to 3 mana, but this is a nice hand. This is a pretty nice hand. I'm going to keep this in bottom of the... probably just one fetch land. There is a world, though, where I just keep both lands and drop the Karakas. We can go off basics here, which is quite nice. Play around Wasteland just to make sure we get to 3 mana. No turn 1 play. Kaya. That's pretty interesting. I will still get just a basic forest here. Play Noble. I play Noble over Mum there because I think the chance of top decking a Knight is just so strong. And there is some upside as well to like swords there hitting Noble instead of Mum. But now we have the sad sort of option that because we went for the forest, we can't double spell this turn. We can't play Mum and hold up swords. I'm still happy just to stay on basics. We have the canopy to cast the endurance as well, which is nice. But we're kind of time walking ourselves in a way that it's pretty tough. Knight's a pretty strong draw and also turns on our ability to find black mana, which is quite nice. Canopy you have to pay life for. You can't tap it just for one, unfortunately. Oh, Cradle. That's interesting. Does allow us to Kaya this turn. But if they have Crop, then we just lose. Oh, yeah, with the Yav. I don't have to, yeah. That was just a miss. I didn't see that. They get a flagstones. They have one card left. I think I'm okay just passing here. Holding up endurance. I'll get a fetch. On tap. Christ. 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So close to double. Still like Kaya here. See what their last card in hand is. It might also be just right to hit the Reclaimer here so they can't... Yeah, because right now they can actually go 2 mana, get Dark Depths, 2 mana copy, and then next turn just get Step and come through. So I kind of have to. I guess we do have Caracas as well off the Knight, so it's not the worst. If they get Bajuka Bog, that tells me something about their hand. Yav's also not in play, so they can't go like Crop into Dark Depths Float 2 stage. They have one card. I feel like I can attack with both here. I guess Endurance gets me, so I might as well just attack with the Endurance. And then in upkeep, in my upkeep, the Reclaimer comes back, and then I can trade it off with the Grist, potentially. I'm not going to use the Knight here. Wasteland. I'll make them discard and I'll draw. Another knight. Play the Wasteland. Play the Knight. There's a world where crop gets me. I think I'm happy just to trade the Endurance for the Reclaimer. Because we still have Caracas as an out for the 2020. I can attack first as well. Like, is there a world where I get got by getting Dried Arbor off Knight and then sacking Dried Arbor to Grist? I believe they can actually respond. You may sack a creature when you do destroy target creature or planeswalker. It doesn't target actually, so that's all good. They have one card. What's the worst case? Probably Crop. Because if we tap the online Knight to get Dried Arbor, trade the Dried Arbor for Reclaimer, and they go Crop for Dark Depths and then untap and draw either Crop or like Once or Sajiri Step, we're just dead. So I think I just have to trade the Endurance for the Reclaimer. I think that's a safe play. Definitely a tough spot. Also down 7 minutes, so need to think about that. All right, they have 2 cards. Each opponent discards, we draw. Tick up. Oh, just don't hit Caracas. Oh no! Just don't hit Caracas. Come on, deck. They have 1 card. Endurance is good. I can just give protection and save my Wasteland, or I can Wasteland myself. I think giving protection is fine. Oh, at least it put Caracas back in the deck as well, so that's not too bad. Okay. pretty nice. Exile Kaya. Go and get that cradle back. Play Hierarch. Play Library. 0 cards in hand. I can attack with the knight here for 4. Yeah. Hey, thanks Dizzy. Very, yeah, very lucky to not be hit by the floods. Very fortunate. I did use this, right? No. Okay, there's depths. But luckily we have the wasteland. Yeah, tough spot for Jono. Just had the cards, but we are back on the winning bracket, which is nice. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. If you guys like this content, definitely consider subscribing to my YouTube channel because I think I'm 10 subscribers away from breaking 2K, which is very cool. So I'll see you in a second. Whew. All right, we're back. Phage the Unlife. Up against Yorion with one lander that isn't a green source. That is rough. This isn't great either, but we can bottom the Cradle.
Verdant Pass gives away the least amount of information. Ah, D&T potentially? I think in that case I want to play the Savannah, but it's tough. Yeah. My opponent could think about like crop rotation here. I saved the Crackers because of cards like Thalia. They're just like a little bit annoying. Sorry, Stefan. Yeah, I just found a weird link to another store that is selling Green Sun shirts, but I had no idea that this even existed because I have my store here, which sells the shirts. So, not too sure why that is. But opponent taking time. This is going to be an interesting one if I do want to tap out next turn for Knight or hold up something else. Hey Mark, good to see you as well. Yeah, maybe drop shipping, but kind of lame. Just going to turn this off for a second. Chinese fakes? I have no idea. I have no idea. But really lame. maybe my opponent has disconnected, which is pretty tough. But yeah, DNCA, interesting matchup. Stoneforge has definitely got a big target on its head with Kaldra in the format now. And we do have ways to deal with the Germ, but we don't have great ways to stop them from being able to like flicker the big one. Yeah, these matchups usually go pretty long as well. So having the extra 4 or 5 minutes here is pretty huge. It's also a tough matchup with the Black Splash, because the Black Splash is powerful, Prismatic Ending for 3, and Plague Engineer, and Thoughtseize, but opening yourself up to Wasteland is also pretty huge, and also all of your black kind of spells are sorcery speed, so Port on Bayou or Scrubland can also have a pretty bad effect on keeping you off that like one turn of being able to Prismatic Ending the creature that you really need to, which is tough. I think my opponent just tapped mana. Did you just see that? Did my opponent just tap mana? There we go. Okay. We got movements. I think my best draw here is just a land, so I can Wasteland my opponent, Prismatic Ending the Stoneforge, and also make sure I have the land for a 3-drop. I don't. But I do have Green Suns. So I think because of the Green Suns here, I'm happy just to get a Forest, hit the Mystic, and then next turn we can at least Green Suns for Dried Arbor if needed. Tower of the Magistrate would be really nice, but unfortunately they're sold out online, so I don't have a way to get them. Spirit's okay. Another Wasteland is pretty nice, and here I'm pretty happy just to drop the Knight. I can't actually get another green mana this turn, so... online. Yeah, the towers are pretty hard. Thankfully have one in paper. Solitude, okay. I don't mind that. Do they have a 2-drop as well? No. Ramanap's quite nice. I think here I'm actually just going to go for a creature, because Dried Arbor is also open to just more removal. Pretty happy to get Hierarch. And then try to get this Ramanap online. Getting that card advantage would be really nice. Timeless Dragon Cycle, sure. This is 4 to Eternalize. File, okay. Hey Dreadnought. Yeah, sometimes the cards just come together, so pretty fortunate for me. I think here I'm just going to get rid of this at sorcery speed. And get rid of the... I don't think getting back with the Ramanap is that great here. I'd rather just keep this Timeless Dragon off the field. And I don't want to do this in a way that like I can try to get the Spirit attacking and then like block. Because they could just drop a land in main phase 1, the Timeless Dragon.
Field of Ruin. Interesting. I'm going to assume this deck is also playing Saga. So Wasteland's pretty nice to have online. And at least here we still get a land out of the deck, and we also have Ramanap to get these things back. Pretty happy just to go and get Dried Arbor here. Swords is nice because that's just a clean answer for Mother of Runes. Can also get back the Savannah, which is nice. We get to attack with both creatures here. I assume they just let this through. They're going to trade with the Dried Arbor. Didn't really expect that. Ramanap. And then this turn I'll get back the Savannah because I want the swords for an end step Mum, if they have one. No. They could have Lion Sash, which would be quite nice. Batterskull Germ is fine. Don't really want to swords it. See what we draw into. Mum. Guess we can attack with the Endurance with the Exalted here. Get back the Dried Arbor. Play the Mum. Pass. I'm probably happy here to double block with the Endurance and the Dried Arbor. If they have a Wisp effect, they have a Wisp effect. I guess they could also Wisp out one of the blockers. But this just makes me like say like, hey, you have to have it. I do get to Wasteland, the Port as well to keep them off hard casting. We know about one card in hand is Kuldra at least, so guess we'll see what the other card is. Especially if they're taking time here. Nothing. Wasteland. Play the Wasteland from the bin. Interesting. Okay. D&T. Definitely like the Plagues. I like the Kaya. I don't mind the Force. At least one. Probably two if they're... I assume they're playing a build with Urza Saga. Not a big fan of the graveyard creatures. I can also see a Knight potentially going. I do like Endurance. I also think the paths are pretty nice. Don't mind the libraries. Oof is obviously quite nice.
Beast is always interesting. I think Beast is just nice to get through opposing mums. Hey, Mining Man. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. Thalia's for sure. Screws for sure. Ramanap, Knight. There's a world where I want Thoughtseize. I just really like that card against these Stoneblade decks. Endurance is just solid as a creature, especially with reach, but I could see like one being in the deck. I still like Library is just like a must answer threat from them, either through Spirit of the Labyrinth or Skyclave Apparition, which we do have a lot of answers for, which is nice. And if they're using a 3 CMC spell like Skyclave on a 2 CMC threat like Sylvan Library, I don't really mind. It might just be the Beast. I think with the Engineers we don't really have to care about Mum anyway. That Beast against a deck with 4 Caracas can just be a little bit tough, that it just gets stuck in your hand a bit. We do have Wasteland for Caracas, but I'd love to see a hand that's pretty much this. We can even do like end of turn 2, fetch for Dried Arbor, untap, play Grist, trade Dried Arbor for a creature. We can also play around Wasteland until turn 3, which is quite nice. No turn 1 play is really nice. Okay. If they play Stoneforge here, I think I just want to untap and play Prismatic Ending on it, rather than Path. Because giving them the 3rd land is pretty huge. Spirit is fine. Scrib. I'm going to play out the Scrub land because of Scrib Ranger. See if they want to try to aggressively Wasteland us. Now the question is Scrib Ranger better than anything else? Like, could I just trade the Scrib Ranger here with Spirit? I think I'm happy just to let this slide for now. Okay. They're still stuck on 2 lands, so pretty happy just to fetch up a Jewel, which can be saved by Scrib. Another ending. Deal with Mum. Play a fetch, which can be Dried Arbor, and we get to attack here. Because I don't think I'm blocking the Spirit here. Pretty happy with what Scrib Ranger's doing to my mana in allowing me just to play around Wasteland, which is quite nice. Also, if they don't have a 3rd land, we can just... This is interesting. So I could fetch for Dried Arbor and block, which means the Grist could potentially just tick up, which I don't mind. We also have the 3rd land in hand. And if they try to Swords this, then we can just return it with Scrib Ranger. But getting this bad boy into play would be really nice. Jide is more than fine. Still no land. Nice. I don't want to put both black sources into play, and this is also a land I can't save with the Scrib Ranger, so I'll put in the Savannah. Get Grist online. which is just a really nice, hard to deal with permanent for my opponent. What do we lose to Grist? Force of Vigor. Not too bad. We have the ending here for creatures as well, so... feel like we're in a pretty nice spot. Next turn we can even play Knight and hold up Path or Prismatic Ending Knight. There's mana number 3, which is pretty huge for my opponent. D&T has a lot of 3-drops, so... Skyclave probably the best here. Recruiter still a little bit slow. Especially if they try to get the Jide going. I think they just have to kind of not really take any... yeah, they can't really use the Jide here. Pretty happy to attack with both first. And then probably just trade the insect with the recruiter so they can't flicker it. Now I think I'm pretty happy to play the Sylvan Library. Make our opponent have to really think about what they want to use this Skyclave for. Okay. I think they still go after the Grist, yeah. And that's going to be fine. They miss a land drop again, so I'm just not going to Path. Don't really need to. Okay. This is really nice. I could just pay 8 here, to be fair. They don't really have reach, which is great. Thanks, Jono. Too kind. Yeah. Knight. Hold up Green Suns, hold up Path, and... yeah. Rip. That is fine. I think I'm pretty happy just to get aggressive here. So we can end step Swords the Skyclave, get a 3/3. Go and get Dryad Arbor. Oh. Well then, we will not be getting Dryad Arbor. Force is really nice. Yeah. Now we get hold up Force and also Path. Solitude's fine, especially exiling a Spirit of Labyrinth. Like, that spirit is turning off the library and also, like, could trade with the illusion, potentially. Wow, they're using it on the illusion as well. Crazy. Just so much value. Now we go back up to 9 life, so, like, more than happy to draw another card with the Force of Vigor as well. Wasteland's okay. The Scrubland is really the only target here, because Script Ranger can return the others, but even if they Wasteland us, we can just force the Rest in Peace in response. And I think for now, the Wasteland's probably just a better spell for them. But the value in this game has just been pretty extraordinary. Like, the Grist was up, the Force of Vigor there is a 2-for-1, the library's been at least a 3-for-1. Night of Autumn Wasteland. I'm happy to pay for the night. Hit their Wasteland. They hit their Scrubland. They tap it for mana. Interesting. Cathar, that's okay. Interesting that they tap like that, holding up 2 mana, and don't Wasteland in response. I wonder if they know the tricks of Scrib Ranger and Knight here. They can just sack as well to hit the library, so that's more than fine. I don't mind getting Cradle. I think we're just getting another Knight here. Yeah. Don't really need to care about Collector Oof at this point, which is pretty nice. I put it on 2 cards, which you don't usually see from D&T, but like your own into hand is more than fine. Oh, do we have lethal? That's the big question. I think we do, because we can untap, return, sack, get Wasteland, and then Wasteland ourselves. Choose Knight, return Bayou. QB is no longer in the deck, no. Which is tough, I really like it, but I think here Wasteland just makes this lethal, which is pretty sweet. Unless they have a Solitude. But even the fetch land here makes it lethal as well. Nice. Really cool. Opponent got stuck there. And I mean, I think the, yeah, having the path in hand from turn 1 to turn 9 or whatever that was, definitely shows our advantage in that game at least. Especially the library. The library did a lot of work. When they have no pressure, it's really tough to, yeah, to not be paying extra life with library and getting some advantage. Like if they're going to trade for it with a Skyclave or a Cathar, the Cathar's a 1-for-1, but we draw cards of it, so it's going to be advantage there. And then the Skyclave giving us back a 2-2 isn't irrelevant, which is nice, so pretty happy for that. When are you back in Brisbane, Jitesh? And did you guys get hit by the floods much up north? Hopefully not. But yeah, D&T, interesting matchup. Usually a lot of value from them, so pretty happy to get there. Hey, Carador, a huge thank you. Too kind. For those of you who follow me on YouTube as well, I am uploading a Bant Depths League today, so that should be pretty cool. A huge thank you to that Maverick Joe for sending through the donation list. Really appreciate it. And to his kids, who I know are big fans, so shout out to them as well. When are you uploading? It is currently uploaded. I just need to put in the details of the content. So it does include Slowgurk, which is pretty interesting. And a card that I've wanted to try out in Legacy for a while. But it's always tough with cards like Slowgurk because it really does compete with other 3-drops like Uro, like Endurance, like Knight. So yeah, it's a tough one. Really tough. But you'll have to see how it goes. You'll have to see how it goes on YouTube. Alright. We have our match, which is nice. Up against Jadom. And we're on the draw. This is a sweet hand. I'll keep this. Really nice. This is like a classic Maverick hand. Like, I don't think they get much sweeter. Alright. What kind of removal are you running in the deck? In this deck, we're running Sword to Plowshares, Prismatic Ending in the sideboard, Force of Vigor, Path to Exile, and Plague Engineer. But in Bant Depths, I was running Swords to Plowshares and Prismatic Ending, and then Teferi, Time Reveler as a bounce in the sideboard. Alright, Jdom, what do you got? Mountain. Ugh. Mountain Pass. Okay. Interesting. I don't mind Mum here. I think Mum into Thalia is better than Sylvan Library or like Green Suns. I think against this sort of deck, I want to get Mum online ASAP. There is a world where we're playing against like a 8-moon deck, like Ancient Tomb, but thankfully it looks like we're not. Yeah, could potentially be goblins, but Mountain Pass makes me think I should just go for, yeah, pretty happy to go for basic here. Just play around like Price of Progress, cards like that. Ah, Painter? Could be Painter, yeah. That's a really good play. In that case, Green Suns for Oof down the line seems reasonable. Like if they play Painter this one, it's not too bad because we can Swords it and also play the Fetch land to get a Plains. But Painter typically doesn't play Blood Moon, especially in the main deck. I can also play this version out as if I'm just on green-white, which is nice, and then bring in Thoughtseize as post-board. Saga. Saga's going to be okay. Savannah. Big question is what do I want to do this turn? I think I'll start with attacking. And then probably just play the library here. Next time we can Green Suns for Oof. Like, 4 turns of doing nothing is really tough for them. But having like a painter out to just kind of get there is also quite relevant. So currently, the token would be a 2/2 if they made one. They can play a 0 drop off the Great Furnace and then still keep up Saga. And there it is. Alright. Okay. Now this is actually pretty interesting because they can be holding up Blast here. I think in this case I'm happy just to pay the 8 life. There's kind of a world where I just want to attack with the Thalia and see how they block. Because I would much rather be able to 2-spell this turn, like Green Suns and Sword, or Knight of Autumn and Sword. Nice. And now what we get to do is, they have 3 cards left. So if they have double blast, it's kind of rough, but we get to play Savannah. And now we can Green Suns first because Swords is instant speed. Try to bait a blast and then Swords the painter in response, so that when the blast tries to resolve, it just fizzles because Green Suns is no longer a blue target. Nice. Nice. There we go. Collect Oof. Cool. They probably make a construct here. They're going to tap it for mana. Interesting. So they have access to 3 mana right now. I'm going to keep the fetch land as a shuffle. Nice. Probably just going to get a Dried Arbor as well to increase the clock. Yeah, because right now it's 5 turns, but the Dried Arbor would decrease that. It also builds up the Knight, which is nice. Canopy's kind of nice, especially with this mana currently. Oh, are we going to Green Suns for Beast? I think we're going to Green Suns for Beast. Can I get some Beast in chat? Put on top, put on top. Land, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Green Suns. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a 2-turn clock now. No end step like a Braid or something is really strong there. Because now they're really stuck on mana. The big question is, are there versions of Painter right now that aren't running like the Goblin effects? Like Goblin Welder and Goblin Engineer? Because I really do like Plague Engineer for those. The Endurances are great because they give us an extra turn. The Thoughtseizers are nice. I do want the extra removal spells, I think, in parts. I kind of nearly just want everything, but I also don't want to go overboard. Like, all of these cards seem, like, pretty nice. I think Mum's still really good. Yeah, I would say that as well. You played them yesterday on both? Yeah, okay. I just like that, like, Plague Engineer is a really nice way to answer Goblin Welder. But obviously doesn't hit Engineer. Like, maybe it's just like a one-of in the deck. I do like Kaya. I definitely like the Forces and the Endurances. I could see, like, Knight coming down. 2 Knights for 2 Endurance. The libraries are still nice because they don't usually or typically go after our mana too quickly. Our life total, sorry, other than with a pretty fast Saga start. I don't mind also going down on Thalias. Beast is nice, but I could see them coming into like Ensnaring Bridge style deck, so I don't mind taking out the Beast. Sword's still relevant, Mum's still relevant. Hey Brophy. Yeah, there has been a few 5-0s with a Yorion Maverick build. You can also find it on my YouTube channel. Which is pretty relevant. I think if you look at like the videos on my YouTube channel and go to like the last like 12 videos, you'll see it. And the deck lists are always in the descriptions of my videos as well. So if you want to find that, you can. Maybe not the Thoughtseizers. It's definitely tough though. Thoughtseize not that great if they are playing the Welder versions, but like hitting a Khan is pretty good. Like, do I really need the parts? I could just bring in Thoughtseizers instead. It's tough. Yeah, maybe Kaya. Kaya is tough because it does like grind, and Kaya is a really nice way to just get rid of construct tokens. It just exiles them, which is pretty nice. These games do get pretty grindy as well when we both just kind of hit back and forth. Like, I think Kaya is a better kind of like end game than Beast. 10 seconds. It could just be Karakas. I think it is just Karakas here. Like, we don't really want to save anything other than the one Thalia, and they don't typically play legendary creatures. Yeah, I don't mind this hand. It's got 3 mana, which is nice. It has early disruption in Force of Vigor. Also has a Swords. Why play Engineer? Just in case of playing Goblin Welder, I want to have a way to cleanly answer it without really using a spell.
Kind of just like fetch pass to see what they're on. This is an interesting spot because I could force the Saga right now before they get to tap it for mana, but I'd rather allow them to tap. Oh. Pretty happy just to wasteland here. Pretty happy just to swords this with the trigger on the stack. I wouldn't mind. Oh, Plague's pretty nice as well for the Thopter. I think again I'm happy just to go after their mana because like a Khan off the top would be pretty brutal. There's Welder. Bolt's gonna be fine. That's exactly why we play it. Goblin. I do like the old school lists of these kind of decks where you see them playing like Faithless Looting and then putting like Worm Coil in the bin and then trading it with like the Great Furnace. I think here I'm happy just to hold up the Endurance, but playing the Knight is also pretty relevant. I could also play the Grist and just start ticking that up. I think Knight is actually quite nice. Because if they start getting a... get going with land drops, then I can at least start wastelanding them as well. And being a 5/5 means it's out of reach of bolts, which is pretty cool. But yeah, like being aggressive with wasteland here has really paid off. They haven't even attacked with the Thopter, which is interesting. I kind of just like Grist to tick up. And then I think I'm happy just to attack. Didn't attack with the Thopter, but didn't block. Ah, that's why. Okay. Looks like they had a pretty aggressive hand. Is it wrong to force this Thopter to keep the Grist? I kind of like where the Grist is, so I actually don't mind that. Like, the Grist is a removal spell by itself. They've already used a Bolt on it as well. Get rid of the Endurance because there's 3 more in the deck. At least the Knight of Autumn can hit a ton of other things. Yeah. Pretty interesting play, but I do think the Grist here is really strong. Engineer is more than fine. I wonder what they get though. Bridge. Okay. Ending's pretty nice. We'll definitely tick up Grist first. Swords this. Wasteland. Hit this. Attack. Just keep them down on mana here. And keep getting in little chumps of attacks. Nice. Whew. Probably some small things I could have done differently there, but pretty happy with how it turned out. At least we can try to finish on a high. 4-1 would be pretty cool. What was round one? Round one was Elves, the sort of more explosive version with Nettle Sentinel and like Heritage Druid. Round two was Jono on Naya Depths. Round three was Death and Taxes, and then that was just Mono Red Painter. It's a pretty good mix of decks, which is pretty cool. I think if we wanted to like end out the league with like a really good mix of decks, it would probably be either a really fast combo deck or like a Bant mid-range deck. Which I don't really want to play against either. Yeah, Elves just really fast. I do like the other version though. I find that a really fun matchup. Up again, Punishing Waterfalls. Most likely on the lands deck that he's been playing around with, 8 Mulch. I think in the blind, I'm pretty happy to keep this. Turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Ramanap, or like Script Ranger and Library. Oh, no, 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 no! At least his hand's not too bad. Classic. We'll keep this and we'll bottom the Bayou. All right. Forest. Hardened Scales. Interesting. Here I'm happy just to Green Suns for Dried Arbor because we have 2 3-drops in hand. Pretty good. I think I'm okay just to Swords Wasteland. Kind of tough. Like, do I care about the Ballista here, or should I just play a land pass? Like, this 3rd mana for me is pretty big as well, with 3 creatures in hand. Like, my opponent could think we're on Green White Depths. Still holding up something here. If a modular trigger ability would put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, you get an extra 1. Huh.
Damn. I do just want to get this Walking Blister out of the way. They pay 8. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on the Ozolith at the beginning of combat on your turn. If the Ozolith has counters on it, you may move all counters from the Ozolith to one target creature. Okay. Arcbound. Yikes. I definitely want to take out the Saga here. I don't know if I want to play the Ramanap just yet. I kind of want to hold up the Endurance. And that way we can also hold up... So my plan here, I think, is Wasteland, Saga, pass. If they attack with this, we can play Endurance to block it with Reach. Or just block it if they try to give it Reach. And then if they go to try to put counters on it, we can go and get Karakas with Knight and just return it to the hand. But pretty tough. Like Ballista here is, or Hangerback. I think I just have to cast Endurance here. And then return this. Don't really care about this. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Well, Plague Engineer is definitely coming in. And they have the Mox Opal to cast it. Of course. Yikes. Yikes. This is going to be tough because it's a go wide deck, which I'm just not ready for. I think Thalias can come out. I'm going to say Mums can most likely come out, but I assume there's some number of Swords to Plowshares in the deck. Plagues are great. I don't mind Thought Seizers on the play. Parts. Force. Libraries. Drop down on one night. Maybe 2 nights.
Scrib's pretty tough as well. Grist here also tough. Beast? Beast? Yeah, I think Beast is quite good at getting through like little blockers. I also don't mind like one library, especially with all the removal we're bringing in. I do want some way to kind of like keep up with just cards coming through. I don't want to run out of cards. I'm going to drop 2 knights. Maybe just the 1 mum. Kaya is definitely interesting though. But it's like, do I have time to get to Kaya? Maybe Kaya is better than Grist. I guess we'll never know. It's a 1-lander, but it's a pretty good 1-lander. We have a lot of stuff to do. Just gonna get a Savannah. That's pretty scary. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, put a +1/+1 counter on this. Okay. I think it's just the Hangerback. But the hardened scales are obviously kind of rough as well, because next turn they can Hangerback, Mox, and hardened scales, but the Hangerback can just get out of hand as well if I don't have the engineer. It's actually a pretty tough one. I guess we have the swords for Hangerback, so I can just take a hardened scales here. Or take the Mox. Taking the Mox stops him from playing the other hardened scales this turn. I think it is just 1 hardened scales. At least we can answer the Hangerback with swords, prismatic ending the other hardened scales. Jeez. Yikes. Okay, we're in business. Construct? Okay. I think we're just naming Construct here. Everything grows! Is this just a 1 CMC creature? I think it is. Like, I just have to prismatic ending for 1, right?
slowly. Now they get another construct. Wonder if they get Shadow Spear? I guess they could get like Walking Ballista because they can harden scales it, right? Or maybe they can't. 0 or 1. Yeah, okay. Could just go for a module creature. At least we have Ramanap into Dryad Arbor Fetch as like just a blocker. Retro. It's pretty good as well. Sadly, I can't like double block and kill because they can just make a retro in response. But yeah, this isn't great. Tough. Huh. Yeah, a little bit too late. Like even this doesn't do anything, so. Tough. Really tough. Just not a deck that I'm really going to be too ready for. Really need like the hard hitters like Force of Vigors early on and then maybe like an Oof. But yeah, tough. But kind of nice to finish 3-2. At least we beat like 3 solid tier decks, which is nice. But yeah, definitely still some like a little bit too fair moments with Maverick, but yeah, deck was fun to come back to. It's always tough trying to like play a challenge with Maverick when you know that you could just be playing like Naya Depths at the moment, which is quite well positioned. But it really comes down to what you really enjoy. And I think that like if you really enjoy Maverick and you really know the deck, you can do well in a challenge or a big event. So the deck definitely pays off hard work, which is nice. But yeah, some really cool plays tonight. Some really cool interactions, and yeah, just like a pretty good league. Like didn't really play against similar decks, which is quite nice and kind of what you want from like a player and streamer perspective. So that's always pretty sweet. All right, I'm gonna see who else is playing and go get some beers. The Legacy Pit, nice. Ah, there must be like a big Magic event as well. Neo Destiny Championship. Well, didn't know that was on. That kind of sounds like the Pro Tour these days, I guess. A huge thank you to you guys for coming and watching. Enjoy your weekends ahead, and of course, I'll hopefully see you all soon. I'll be back probably on Thursday night, but I will have some content going up on YouTube just after this, so hopefully I'll see you there. Cheers.